to my amendments 53 and 54 in this group, which the noble Baroness Lady Pigeon disdains to address, so that leaves it to me to explain what they do. Amendment 53 would require local authorities to conduct and publish a parking impact assessment before permitting EV charge point works that may displace general use parking, to ensure that the wider motoring public is not disproportionately affected by the transition to electric infrastructure. Amendment 54 seeks to ensure that residents and businesses can request a review where proposed EV installations, reduce access to conventional parking. My concern, my lords, is that the government does not appear fully to appreciate the practical and societal risks of its current approach. Across the country, we are seeing residents, particularly in towns and suburbs, finding that parking spaces they have relied upon for years are being removed or repurposed for electric vehicle charging bays without consideration of local needs. Of course, the argument is that this is all in the service of the transition to electric vehicles, although that transition does appear to be stalling if we take note of the number of electric vehicles being sold and what the take-up is. But for many people, and there is a class element to this, especially those who cannot afford an electric vehicle, dependency on a petrol or diesel-driven vehicle for getting to work and fulfilling the requirements of daily life and making a living is absolutely essential, and provision has to continue for those. We are in danger of pushing out from parking access poor people who desperately need, people on low incomes who desperately need a car, in order to make space for the better off family's second Tesla for the nanny to use. That cannot be equitable, can it? Surely. And so what is proposed here, as I say, is an impact assessment, no prohibition, and the opportunity for people to ask for a review. As I say, the benefits flow directly in one direction. The noble Lord the Minister said in committee that we must ensure our regulatory framework is enabling rather than encumbering. I agree, but I'd ask, enabling for whom and at what cost? The transition that we're aiming at has to be fair and balanced and practical, and these amendments would simply introduce a modest, reasonable safeguard to ensure that the wider motoring public is not unduly disadvantaged as infrastructure for electric vehicles are rolled out. Now, Amendments 52 and 57, because I am willing to address the amendments proposed by the noble Baroness Lady Pigeon, even though she can't be bothered to address mine, raise the same issue that I have highlighted by allowing private charging points to extend into the public sphere. These measures would, in effect, reserve and privatize particular road space for the benefit of particular residents and exclude the general public from parking in those bays even when they were free. Now, perhaps some means could be found whereby the general public could park in them when they were free, but nobody has proposed what this mechanism is, and I think it's incumbent on the noble Baroness to address this question. In a world where there is limitless parking space, of course, these issues wouldn't arise, but her amendments are aimed specifically at those places where you have relatively high density, places where properties don't have their own driveway or on-site parking space, tend to be those with higher levels of density. Those are the ones she wants to address, and very often are more mixed economically. And as I say, that question of equity is an important one as well.